Hi, I'm Sayojita. Today's dish is Pav Bhaji, an extremely popular street food from Mumbai. Pav are buttery bread rolls that are accompanied by a spicy mixed vegetable curry, also laden with butter. The beauty of Pav Bhaji is that it tastes delicious even if you don't put that much butter in it. Just use oil for a vegan version. The bhaji is a healthy one-pot dish loaded with vegetables. You can make it in an instant pot, a pressure cooker, or a saucepan. There is no tedious chopping and no exotic ingredients. The Pav Bhaji masala is readily available. And it's impossible not to feed an army with this one. So it's perfect for a high tea or a dinner party. Okay then, let's head to the kitchen. The first step is to start on the pav dough. I'm going to run through this process quickly. For a detailed method, check out my companion video on Naan Pav and Bhatura. I'm making fresh pav along with the bhaji. You can use store-bought rolls as long as they're not sweet. I'm making 16 pav, which should be plenty for the 6 of us. But you may need to make 24 for all the bhaji that I'm going to prepare. I suppose I'll have some leftovers of the bhaji. I have an hour and a half while the pav is proofing. I'm going to finish off most of my kitchen work in that time, which means making the bhaji. A quick glance at the ingredients. Plenty of onions, tomatoes. It's a mix of frozen and fresh vegetables. You can use mostly frozen if you want. And my goal here is to minimize the fine chopping and reduce the effort without affecting the taste. So, I'm also going to puree the tomatoes, along with a large quantity of Kashmiri chili, which will help give the characteristic red color to the bhaji. You can use regular chili powder and paprika for the red color, or add some beetroot puree. Now I'm going to start cooking. Add the oil. I'm making it directly in with my tri-ply pressure cooker. You can follow the same steps for an instant pot. Saute, pressure cook and saute again. Add the onions. Even frozen ones are just fine. They do not need to be finely chopped. Fry them in the oil without browning. We want the bhaji to be as red as possible, so nothing should be browned here. The salt helps them cook faster without browning, although they do not need to be fully cooked. Keep a low to medium flame. Add ginger, garlic. I'm not adding any, but if you want. And turmeric. Then the chili tomato puree. Increase the heat and let it come to a boil for about a minute. Add the vegetables, but I'm going to go a bit easy on the potatoes and use more cauliflower instead. And mix. and the water. Cover and pressure cook for 15 minutes after the pressure builds up. The vegetables are going to be mashed up in the final dish anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're slightly overcooked. If you're using an instant pot, you can set this for completion about 30 to 45 minutes before serving and finish cooking at that time. I'm going to make all the bhaji now and relax afterwards. Okay, the bhaji is ready to come out of the cooker. The pressure has released naturally. And here goes. The vegetables have cooked nicely. Right now, you can see the water is separate from the vegetables. Mash them with a potato masher or a ladle. If they are well cooked as these are, this should be quite an effortless task. We don't need a smooth puree here. I'm just going to break down the large chunks. Turn on the flame to medium. While I'm mashing the vegetables, the gravy is reducing and becoming homogeneous. That is, we cannot see the water separate from the vegetables. I like to add the capsicum separately so that it can be seen in the finished product. The bhaji has reached the correct consistency. Add the Pav Bhaji masala and the butter. It seems like a lot, but remember this is a lot of bhaji. For a vegan version, skip the butter and add a little bit of oil. Some more salt. And a whole lot of coriander leaves. If your bhaji is looking too dry, add water as needed. Mine looks fine. Mix well and let simmer for a few minutes. Taste and adjust the seasonings. I need some more Pav Bhaji masala. And a tad bit of butter. I'd like to point out that the actual time spent cooking with the bhaji is only about 20 minutes at the most. 10 minutes before pressure cooking and 10 minutes after. As you can see here, the peppers are still crunchy. But that's okay. They will cook with the latent heat of the bhaji. The bhaji is ready. I'm going to turn off the gas, cover the pot and let the bhaji rest for 5 minutes or so. As you can see, it is homogeneous, but you can still see the vegetables. It is not watery, but is still loose in consistency. I have transferred it into 2 bowls. One I'm going to make hotter and rather spicier, and the other I'm going to leave as is. I'm going to do that with this optional gravy. I still have some time before the pav dough has proofed, and it only takes about 15 minutes to prepare. So I'm going to finish it off now. There are 2 reasons why I find the gravy useful, and I will go through them as we go along. Heat the kadhai. I'm using butter, but you can use oil. Add the fresh tomato puree or paste. If your paste is too thick or concentrated, thin it down with water. I like to add a little beetroot paste to enrich the red color of the bhaji. You can also add the paste during the preparation of the bhaji itself. Sometimes the bhaji can thicken considerably on cooling or refrigeration. In that case, it needs a bit of refreshing before serving. This gravy helps to do that. You can also use water, of course. I'm going to add some capsicum and frozen peas. They'll add some green flecks to the bhaji at the very end. Fresh peas must be pre-cooked. The second reason for making the gravy is to customize the hotness level of the bhaji. For instance, today I need to make half this bhaji spicier. I can just mix in the spicy gravy while warming up the bhaji before serving. The gravy is ready. You can make it at any time up to 30 minutes before serving. It takes only 10 minutes to prepare. In the meanwhile, it's been 1.5 hours since the pav dough was proofing, and we are ready to process it further. The dough has risen substantially, and I'm going to run through this part too. Divide the dough into two. And portion each half into 8. Totally 16 rolls. Make the balls and place them in a well-greased or parchment-lined tray. They should be close to each other so that they'll stick together on rising. Preheat the oven to 225 degrees centigrade. That's rather hot. Cover and let rest for 30 minutes or so. Okay, half an hour is up. I'm going to put the pav in. Here's how they look after the second proofing. The rolls are all stuck together as they should be. Bake the pav for about 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, here goes. The baked pav is out. Set it out on a rack to cool. It's getting close to serving time, and my guests will be arriving soon. I'm going to get my bhaji ready for serving. A little butter or oil. It's completely optional, there's plenty of butter in it already. Add the bhaji. It's best to warm it in the kadhai and not in the microwave. This is the one that I'm going to make spicier. And then the gravy. You can just warm it up with the gravy or water. Let it come to a nice boil. Everything is cooked, so it doesn't need a long time. Looks nice and red. Wonderful. The last thing we have to do before setting the table is to toast the pav. My cast iron griddle is nice and hot. I'm applying a thin coating of butter. That's all it needs because the pav is already buttered. I have already split them into two and buttered them on both sides. Toast each side until golden. And the pav is ready to serve. It's best to serve it right away. But if you must serve it after it has cooled down, just warm it lightly in the microwave for a few seconds. My guests are here and my bhaji is at the table with the golden pav and the fixings. Let's serve it on the plate with some chopped onions, lemon and chopped coriander and a little dollop of butter on the hot bhaji if you like. That's all for today. Check out my vegan green masala cauliflower next. I think you will like it. I hope you'll be making pav bhaji in your kitchen soon. Do let me know in the comment section how it turns out. Be sure to check out my new video coming next week. Thank you for watching.